Hey YouTube, I know the lighting sucks on this video, but I mean basically you don't need to see me, you just need to hear the information. This is part 2 of how to become a truck driver, and the reason why I don't suggest to go to a trucking company and train to get your CDL is you're going to be under a contract, as opposed to if you go to a truck driving school, you're going to have a promissory note. And in the end, if you go to the trucking company and you're under a contract, you're basically going to be under both a contract and a promissory note. And you want to be in control of your career. You don't want a company telling you what you're going to do with your career. And, you know, I've been in the business for a while and I've been kicked around a few times, but I got smart, and it's like, you know, you can't instill fear in me. I know the rules. When you train and you learn about your CDL, you are the captain of your ship. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you're not. So, besides that, let's get into it. So you pick yourself I've got some notes here, truck driving school. And what they're going to want you to do is you're going to have to fill out an application. And it's not necessarily, you know, it's not like you're applying for a job, but they want your job history, because you're going to have that when you apply to a company. They're going to want 10 years of your job history if you have that. They're going to ask you a lot of questions about your background and your MVR, which is your driving history. It's not really super important to the school, but they're going to tell you that, you know, if you have a felony or you have a DUI and this, that, and the other, they're going to kind of weed people out. It's not necessarily a deal killer if you have a felony or, you know, some stuff on your MVR like it used to be, because the trucking industry is so desperate for people that there are companies that can work with you on that. But just be aware that it's a pretty long application, and you need to get it and take your time and fill it out as best as you can. Once that you've chosen a school, and it may be out of town, you may have to stay in a motel, and that's usually built into your tuition for the school. And, you know, I was stupid when I went, and I could have probably got a discount because I didn't stay in the motel. And they're probably going to make you bunk with somebody, and it's going to suck. You're going to get some classroom, because the knowledge test that you have to take comes from a pretty thick manual. And so every day you're going to be sitting in a classroom, and the instructor's basically going to be going through the CDL driver's manual with you and just explaining what things are, because you probably don't know anything about brake chambers and, you know, air compressors and all this kind of stuff. I'm being really vague because I don't want to, you know, bore you with all that stuff, because you'll get bored with it later. And you're also going to do some skills, like in the truck. You'll be in a parking lot, like probably a big gravel lot, and they're going to get you in there, and you're going to practice backing into between. We had actual trailers. Some places just have cones. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to spend a lot, you know, several hours a day maneuvering the truck in a parking lot. And then you're going to be on the road, driving down the road. And the way we did it was, I think there was 3 or 4 of us that were with one driver trainer, and we would take turns, and we would just drive all around town, and, you know, stop signs and making different turns, and he would be guiding us all along the way. And then we would go kind of out in the country on some curvy, like skinny roads, and Mont Eagle is nearby, and we went up and down Mont Eagle Mountain. Granted, we were empty, and one guy, you know, kind of got out of control, and everybody was scared, but I wasn't scared. So that's what you're going to do. And at some point, someone will come in, and you'll have to take a DOT physical. And it's not usually a problem for young people. If you have high blood pressure or diabetes or some other kind of health problem, you're going to have to figure that out, because there's different deals on that. I've never really had an issue with that. But to get your CDL, you have to have a DOT physical saying that you're fit for the job, and you can't get your license without it, and you can't renew it, and you have to renew it every 2 years if there's no stipulations. Sometimes you have to not renew it, but retake the physical every 2 years, unless you have some other problem, and they may give it to you for a year or for 6 months. Mine's always been every 2 years. Then when you get to the end of the course, the school is going to test you on the road. And when I took my road test, I didn't even know I was taking it. I thought we were just out for the day and doing our little driving, but he was testing me during my turn, and I passed. And also the backing skills, there's certain skills that you have to do, and they're different for every school. There's a number of them that you can choose from, whether it's like backing between trailers, it might be backing up against a dock, it might be a serpentine kind of course, or parallel parking, and they'll make sure that you're ready to pass that before you're tested. You'll also do what's called a pre-trip inspection test, and then finally you will go to the DMV and you'll take your knowledge test. Now, I suggest if you want to get any endorsements, which are extras onto your CDL, like tanker or doubles and triples, that you go ahead and study for that and take the test when you do your general knowledge. And once you do that, you are gonna, well, I did forget you about one thing. After you get your DOT physical, they'll probably send you to the DMV and you get what's called a DPA, which is basically a driver's learner's permit for CDL holders, and you'll do that before you get on the road. So once you pass all your tests and you got your CDL, you're ready to choose a company and get hired and go to work. And part 3 will deal with choosing a company and what to expect when you get there. So I hope you like this video. Sorry about the lighting, but you don't need to look at me. You just need to hear the stuff.